The year is 2025, a year that has brought with it unprecedented challenges and stark realities. A strange, unsettling picture unfolds across the United States, painting a tale of two extremes. On the West Coast, Los Angeles is ablaze, a city engulfed in flames. Wildfires rage uncontrollably, fueled by relentless drought and scorching heat, turning forests into infernos. The skies above the city are choked with thick, suffocating smoke, casting an eerie orange glow. Fear and uncertainty grip Angelenos as they don masks and evacuate their homes, unsure of what the future holds. Meanwhile, on the opposite coast, a different kind of disaster unfolds, equally devastating in its own right. Florida, known for its perpetual sunshine and warmth, shivers in an uncharacteristic deep freeze, a stark contrast to its usual climate. Orange trees, the state's iconic symbol, wither and die in the unusual cold, their fruits lying damaged on the ground. These concurrent weather events, as different as they seem, are tragically connected, two sides of the same coin. They are both stark reminders of the growing impact of climate change, a crisis that knows no boundaries. These extremes are no longer anomalies, but rather, they are becoming alarmingly frequent. They are the new normal, forcing communities to adapt to these harsh realities. The question is, will we heed their warnings? Will we take the necessary steps to mitigate these impacts, or will we continue down this path of destruction? To understand these extreme weather events, we need to look at the jet stream. The jet stream is a powerful, high-altitude air current that plays a crucial role in shaping our weather patterns. It acts like a river of wind, flowing thousands of miles across the globe. The jet stream is a band of strong winds high in the atmosphere. These winds can reach speeds of over 200 miles per hour, and they help to steer weather systems around the planet. It usually flows in a relatively straight path from west to east. This steady flow helps to maintain a balance in our weather, bringing regular patterns of rain, sunshine, and seasonal changes. However, climate change is causing the jet stream to become wavier. This waviness disrupts the usual flow, leading to unusual and extreme weather patterns. The jet stream's meandering can cause prolonged periods of heat, cold, or precipitation in certain areas. This leads to more extreme weather events. From intense heat waves and droughts to severe cold snaps and heavy rainfall, the impact of a wavier jet stream is far-reaching and often devastating. In the case of Los Angeles, the jet stream has become stuck in a pattern that brings hot, dry air from the desert southwest. This stagnant pattern traps heat and prevents cooler, moist air from moving in. This creates perfect conditions for wildfires. The relentless heat and dry air turn vegetation into tinder, ready to ignite at the slightest spark. The heat is drying out vegetation. Plants and trees lose their moisture, becoming highly flammable. The lack of rainfall exacerbates the problem. Without regular rain, the land becomes parched, and water sources dwindle, making it even harder to combat fires once they start. Any spark, whether natural or man-made, can ignite a conflagration. Once a fire starts, the dry conditions and strong winds can cause it to spread rapidly, engulfing large areas in a short amount of time. In Florida, the jet stream has dipped far to the south. This unusual dip allows cold air from the Arctic to flow into regions that are typically warm. This allows frigid Arctic air to plunge deep into the state. The sudden influx of cold air can lead to unexpected and severe cold snaps. Florida is simply not equipped for such extreme cold. Homes and infrastructure are built for a warm climate, and the sudden cold can cause significant damage. Citrus crops are particularly vulnerable. The cold can damage or destroy the fruit, leading to significant economic losses for farmers. Tourism, a mainstay of the state's economy, suffers as well. Cold weather deters visitors, impacting businesses that rely on tourism. These events are not isolated. They are part of a larger pattern of climate change-driven extreme weather events across the globe. The changing jet stream is just one piece of the puzzle. They are part of a larger pattern of climate change-driven extreme weather events across the globe. As our planet warms, these extreme events are becoming more frequent and more severe, highlighting the urgent need for action to address climate change. During his presidency, Donald Trump consistently downplayed the threat of climate change. He called it a hoax and withdrew the United States from the Paris Agreement. This agreement, signed by nearly 200 countries, aims to limit global warming. Trump's administration rolled back environmental regulations. They argued that these regulations stifled economic growth. The administration favored the fossil fuel industry. They opened up public lands for drilling and weakened emission standards for cars and trucks. These actions had significant consequences. They accelerated climate change. They also undermined global efforts to address this pressing issue. Trump's stance on climate change sparked controversy. It further polarized an already divided nation. His supporters, many of whom doubted the science of climate change, applauded his policies. They saw them as a defense of American jobs and energy independence. However, many others, including climate scientists, environmental groups, and a growing number of Americans, were deeply alarmed. They argued that Trump's policies were reckless and would have devastating consequences for the planet. The debate over climate change became increasingly partisan. This made it difficult to find common ground and implement effective solutions. Section 5. Stories from the front lines, Los Angeles. The human cost of these extreme weather events is immeasurable. In Los Angeles, the wildfires forced thousands to flee their homes. The air quality reached hazardous levels. Hospitals were overwhelmed with patients suffering from respiratory problems. John and Mary, a retired couple living in the hills above Malibu, lost everything in the fire. They had lived in their home for over 40 years. Now they are left picking through the ashes, trying to rebuild their lives. We knew the risk of wildfires was always there, John says, his voice cracking with emotion. But we never imagined it would be this bad. This isn't just a natural disaster. This is climate change, plain and simple. Section 6. Stories from the front lines, Florida. In Florida, the cold snap had devastating consequences for the state's agriculture industry. Orange groves, once lush and productive, were decimated by the freezing temperatures. Farmers like Miguel, a third-generation citrus grower, faced financial ruin. My family has been growing oranges in Florida for almost 100 years, Miguel explains, his face etched with worry. We've weathered hurricanes, droughts, and diseases, but nothing like this. This cold, it's killed our trees, our livelihood. I don't know what we're going to do. The tourism industry, a vital part of Florida's economy, also suffered as visitors stayed away, fearing the unseasonably cold weather. Section 7. A global call to action, the Paris Agreement and beyond. The Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015, represents a global commitment to combating climate change. Nearly every country in the world has signed on. The agreement aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. It also provides a framework for countries to work together to reduce their carbon emissions. While the Paris Agreement is a crucial step in the right direction, it is not enough. More needs to be done, and quickly, to transition away from fossil fuels and towards cleaner, renewable sources of energy. This will require a global effort, with countries working together to share technology, resources, and expertise. Section 8. Thinking local city and state initiatives. While global action is essential, local initiatives are also critical. Cities and states around the world are taking the lead in addressing climate change. They are implementing innovative policies to reduce emissions, promote energy efficiency, and adapt to the impacts of climate change. For example, many cities are investing in public transportation, cycling infrastructure, and electric vehicle charging stations to reduce their reliance on cars. They are also planting trees and creating green spaces to mitigate the urban heat island effect. States are enacting ambitious renewable energy standards, promoting energy efficiency in buildings, and investing in climate-resilient infrastructure. These local actions, when combined, can make a significant difference. Section 9. What you can do. Every action counts. In this section, we will explore the various ways each of us can contribute to the fight against climate change. It's a collective effort that starts with individual actions. The fight against climate change is not just the responsibility of governments and corporations. While they play a significant role, the power of individual actions cannot be underestimated. It requires the active participation of all of us. From small daily habits to larger lifestyle changes, every effort counts. Every individual has a role to play. Whether it's recycling, reducing waste, or conserving water, your actions make a difference. There are many things you can do to make a difference. Consider using alternative modes of transportation like biking or walking, and invest in renewable energy sources for your home. Reduce your carbon footprint by driving less, flying less, and opting for public transportation whenever possible. These small changes can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and consuming less energy at home. Simple actions like switching off lights when not in use, using energy-efficient appliances, and insulating your home can lead to substantial energy savings. Make conscious choices about the food you eat. Supporting local farmers and choosing seasonal produce can reduce the carbon footprint associated with food transportation. Opting for plant-based options whenever possible. A plant-based diet not only benefits your health, but also has a lower environmental impact compared to a meat-based diet. Support businesses and organizations that are committed to sustainability. Your purchasing power can drive companies to adopt more eco-friendly practices. Most importantly, talk about climate change with your family, friends, and community. Open discussions can lead to greater awareness and collective action. Friends and community. Share information, exchange ideas, and collaborate on local initiatives to combat climate change. Raise awareness about this critical issue and demand action from your elected officials. Participate in community meetings, sign petitions, and vote for leaders who prioritize the environment. Remember, every action counts. We are all in this together. By working collectively and making conscious choices, we can create a sustainable future for generations to come.